We got a great episode here, so get ready for this one. We're going to be taking a look at the S&P 500. We're going to check in what's going on here with the Nasdaq, also on the Dow and the Russell. We're really going to get into. I'm going to look at a mistake that I made here, how we could have played that better, how I could have played that better. Always learning from my mistakes. We'll see what's going on with the dollar. We'll see what's going on with gold here. Is it getting ready to trigger a long? Silver, more or less. We'll check in quickly before we get into Bitcoin. We'll also be then taking a look at Ethereum, what possible targets we could be looking at over here. And we could see here Chainlink up another 12.5%. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. We're starting here with the S&P 500. This is what we're going to take a look at over here. You can see that we're still trading within this, this is a downward sloping channel. That could either be possibly a bull flag. Let me go ahead and extend that over there. We didn't come into any contact with that. I don't see any other trend lines over there. We're just basically bouncing off of the support right now of that channel in no man's land. Not really much to read. By the way, a couple of things. So now you get some headlines that stimulus is coming. Then the other side of the aisle, the Republicans are like, there's no way we're going to pass this type of deal. I have no idea what's happening, although I could say a couple of things here. Here's what I'm going to say. Now, something I do want to add to the conversation is this chart over here. This is the global liquidity proxy. Why we're having this whole theater going on about whether or not there's going to be stimulus or not, or when does someone get to pull the rug right before the election, who's helping the American people, who's not. Here we're looking at what's going on behind the scenes. This is the global liquidity proxy over here. I believe this is a Bloomberg chart. It was found on Zero Hedge, and you could see ever since the March low over here when the Fed acted, liquidity has just been rising and continues to rise throughout all this theater over here. So whether or not today this was a bounce because of perhaps some headline that like one person thought they were making progress while the other side doesn't think they're making it, that's all nonsense and doesn't matter. Here's what's important. Equities are risky. We had a little bit of fun over here. We sure did. We had a little bit of fun over there, also on the Nasdaq, but equities are risky. Now, if you get a clean trade over here, is it something worthwhile taking? Maybe. We'll continue to talk about it. We'll continue to learn from it. But I've been sounding the alarm ever since the first week of August, after all of our profit objectives were met, that equities are risky. What's coming up in 2 weeks? We have the election, huge risk event. Careful out there. There are far better places to deploy your capital. Seek those out. Nevertheless, let's continue looking at this right now. You can see the Nasdaq over here. Look, I think I played this wrong a little bit also. Now, everyone is clear that I'm just looking at these as learning examples. I'm not currently taking positions on the equity markets. And when I do, you'll be the first to know. Look over here, as this morning we were making a higher high over there. It looked like outside of this channel. Look over here, we have this downward sloping channel. Notice that we came back down, taking out all of the last couple of session lows. We peaked right into what? The trend line down over there. That was also pointed out though in this morning's live stream, that if we did break this level, that we have this trend line below it. It held. We're back up over here. Is this possibly now opening up for another entry over here if you start making higher highs here? It looks pretty clean. It's something to consider. I think it's risky. Here's where let's talk about the Dow first. You can see over here, retrospect. Hindsight is important. It's always easy in hindsight. I'm looking at this, but I didn't point out anything in live. I'm looking at this as a learning experience, first of all. Okay. Look, I wasn't looking to take that trade off of the support. You could see over there, nice test into the support and a rebound off of it, right? Could you see over here, is this kind of a similar pattern you're seeing on the S&P 500 that you're seeing also on the Nasdaq? Yes, kind of. It's not clear for me. And regardless, when it's not clear, I step aside. However, here on the Russell, I kind of feel like that it should, I was looking at the weakness over here. I was looking as we were dropping down below this support over here, as we were coming into it. I said if we started making lower lows over there, that the Russell was looking like it was to the weakness on the downside, something that you should be looking to take advantage of. We never made the lower low, which keeps us out of the trade, right? You could see now that it does appear to be breaking above this trend line. That's not clean either. You have to do this. You have to clone that trend line and get this outer band over here. I think we'll put it right over there. You could see the resistance that we still have to clear. Nevertheless, here's what I want you to focus on. Here's what I want to focus on. And again, this analysis is for my own benefit, and I'm happy to share it with you all over here. I feel like I should have had a trend line also down over there, like the similar shape that we're seeing on the Nasdaq, the similar channel that we're seeing on the S&P 500, kind of also on the Dow. Like I could have had that level over there, touching these pieces over there, and then another one I should have had over here, touching the bodies over there. And not only that, look to my left over here. Do you think that I should have had some support over there as well? Look, it's not clear. I'm trying to learn from it. And again, even just doing this as an exercise, it's not something that I could have picked up or would have saw in real time. So the answer to that was no, right? However, this was the trade I was looking at, breaking below that support, looking for the retest. We never resumed. Keeps us out of you never play breakdowns. Never play breakdowns. They are low probability trades. Nevertheless, equities are risky. We're going to blow through the dollar over here. The dollar remains what? The dollar remains range bound. It's probably waiting for a couple of things. When I say range bound, I mean we haven't gone anywhere in months. And not only that, it's not like today I'm saying we're range bound. I'm saying we were consolidating, and I've been saying that we're sideways for a while. And this continues to be as such. Now we are building up a big range over here, and the breakout over here, whether it's to the upside or downside, could be significant. That might come on whether one of two things. If we do get some agreement on stimulus, and it's stimulus that the market agrees with, it's targeted stimulus that the market likes, or if it's a big waste of money, you could see the dollar really sold off hard. Or if we run into some type of risk event, I don't know how the dollar is going to react. If there's no concession of the election, I don't know if that's going to be dollar positive, flight to safety, or that's going to be a flight into gold and Japanese yen, and the dollar is going to be just sold. So I'm not really sure, and when I'm not sure, I'm what? Staying away. I look for clarity. I look for certainty. Let's look over here at gold, and gold is looking right over here as if a couple of things are happening, right? First of all, we had the breakout of this trend line over here. We came in for the retest, and this is closing here as a successful retest. It's closing above the trend line over here. It's closing above the 1904. That is a successful retest so far. If price starts making higher highs over here, that leads to a possible long entry. That leads to an attempt at taking a long position on gold. It's clean. It's there. Silver remaining on the sidelines, waiting for silver to break out. Right? You see you have a clean rejection of the trend line into support that's holding. Do you take the buy over here coming into the resistance? I don't think so. I don't even think that you take this trade until it gets above 26. Let it really prove itself that it's really getting ready to test the yearly high and maybe even make another higher high. Gold is where the trade is at right now. Bitcoin, you can see over here that we pointed out a couple of different things that could happen. One of those things was consolidating below the resistance. That looked like it was happening briefly. Now we're back above the resistance. Listen, the one thing that I want to say about Bitcoin is a couple of things. Now that Bitcoin has shot up, people want to get into Bitcoin, right? Listen, I've been very clear all year long, not just every week, about where you should be accumulating Bitcoin and why. And it's not chasing a move ever. I have no idea when the next entry, swing trade entry, will present itself on Bitcoin. We'll be watching and waiting. Do I think that you should buy chasing price? I do not think that. I do not think that at all. If we wind up consolidating here above this resistance, turn support, and then make another leg higher, that might be the next swing entry. It's not clear right now. Everyone should be holding and well positioned into Bitcoin. And if you're not, Bitcoin's still cheap. Bitcoin's at 13,000. In my opinion, anything under 20,000 still providing an opportunity for what? 5x, 7x, just to meet what I believe to be a targeted achievable goal. That's cheap Bitcoin. 30,000 maybe. after that, it's starting to get away from you. 13,000 Bitcoin. And I've said it before, when Bitcoin was trading, around 11,500, I said, I don't care if it's 11,500. I don't care if it's 10,500. I don't care if it's 12,500. And I don't care if it's 8,500. To me, when I'm looking at targeting six figures, that's all cheap Bitcoin. Remains the same. If you're not positioned in, you got, time is beginning to run out. We looked at in the training session today for Conquering the Markets, possible scenarios for how you're supposed to trade that bull market phase. Well, video will be coming. My calendar in my head has always been as we break $14,000 over here. And that's around the time when I'm going to be itching to get the video out to you. Why? Because before then, it's just not necessary. But once we break above there, at that point, I will make sure the video's out, how to trade Bitcoin during the coming bull market phase, the way that I'm going to do it, the way that I believe is the most profitable way to do it, and also the smartest way to do it. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum's flying today, up 6.5%. All coins playing catch up today. And, some people are looking to get rid of their Ethereum today. I don't know. So a couple of things, right? We were looking in yesterday's update when we touched base together. We were looking for a retest of 390, confirming that breakout, and then a resumption up, giving way to another entry. The only other thing that I want to add to this is that I've been very adamant over the past few weeks, since when? Since like late September. For the last few weeks, that once we broke 390, we could see a quick move into 500. That remains the same, What else? Chainlink, I just want to bring up only because we've all been following it and because it's up 13%. You could see that we've taken out that higher, that previous swing high, which was a little worrisome when we put in a lower swing high. You could see that has technically been rectified. One of you yesterday in the comments, and I read all the comments and I enjoy all the comments, noted that this looked very bullish to them yesterday, giving their reasons why, and they were dead on for sure. Just like I said that once Ethereum breaks above 390, at that point, we could see a quick move up. It's the same thing on Chainlink, in my opinion. Once we get above 1292, this resistance area over here, we could then have a quick move up towards $17, $18 once again, maybe even then looking to challenge the yearly highs. So other things that I want to point out, we're seeing that huge disconnect. Look, you have the dollar up today. The dollar's trading up today, and Bitcoin and crypto, they don't care. We're seeing that huge disconnect that we've been talking about until the first quarter, late into the first quarter of 2021. That's when it's going to be really pronounced. Okay. And then after that, the next 9 months after that, that's just what's going to be crazy. That's when the correlation really breaks between not only Bitcoin and crypto and the dollar, but also between Bitcoin and gold, and also the equity markets and Bitcoin. And again, as we enter the bear market, that correlation is going to break again. I don't care if the equity markets are trading at all-time highs. There's going to come a top, and then the bull phase is going to begin. And regardless of what equity is doing, the correlation is going to break the other way, and you're going to see Bitcoin also come off. Be prepared now. By the way, the last thing that I want to leave you with right now, as we're just getting started here. We haven't even gotten started here. Right. And by the way, it depends on what the height of the bull market is. Right. If it's 140,000, then maybe we're targeting 30,000 as the low of the bear market, 40,000. If we wind up targeting 300,000, right, then the low of the bear market's going to be obviously a lot higher. That's why when I say 13,000 Bitcoin is cheap and there's still time. By the way, I use BlockFi. I use it all the time. Not only that, I've recently taken out a loan against my Bitcoin holdings in BlockFi to buy more Bitcoin. Because to me, this is cheap Bitcoin. But the link is below in the description if you're interested in that. Most of you are already using that for sure. They do also pay interest on the Bitcoin you're holding, which is nice. But again, we're looking for price appreciation. We're not really looking for the interest over there. The other thing that I wanted to say and leave you with today is this. If you're able to position yourself into this bull market, and if you're able, and we'll be talking about it as we get there, when we look to position out, And just understand, I'm not trying to time the top. I don't believe I will be able to get out at the top of the Bitcoin market. I just need to be in the, you ever play horseshoes? They say you could be close in horseshoes and hand grenades. This is the same thing. I just need to be close on my exit. I'm not trying to pick the top. I have some indicators that are going to help me get out as close as possible, but I don't expect to get out at the very top tick, nor am I trying. But if you're able to exit during the top phase of the bull market, and then you wait for that 80-85% drawdown on Bitcoin and accumulate back in. By the way, we looked at this also. When do you accumulate back in? Let me pull this up. This is over here. This is Plan B's Bitcoin in difficulty. This is Plan B's stock to flow over here. This is how many more months the colors into the next Bitcoin halving over here. This dark green square over here is exactly, this dark green square over here, this is exactly 15 months to the next halving. This will be when I look to accumulate back in. I'll always let you know what I'm doing, right? And you could always use that as a guide, whether you want to get in on those trades yourself or whether you don't agree with my analysis and you see it a different way and want to trade accordingly. Listen, I enjoyed the session as always. Thank you all for being here. If you're still here, thank you always for your continued support. Please do go ahead, smash that like button, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning. It's Friday, and I love our Friday sessions. All right, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.